Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi, welcome everybody to this week's Food for the Chakras.
Hello. Hi.
We got a feedback. Okay. So thank you, Ariel, for joining me. And I'm so excited, Mary, to meet you in person on screen. Thank you every episode for your wonderful comments and insights. So it's really wonderful to have you here so that we can discuss this live.
Yay. So good to see you, Doreen, Vanita.
I know, it's been interesting going through these chakras and trying to use color therapy to dress, to clear, and realizing that my closet is full of a lot of black and white. I am, I was very happy to find this old shirt of mine. It's like probably 15 years old, and it's full of snakes, which I love. And the only other green outfit that I have was a beautiful dress full of octopus tentacles. Ooh. So I have to say, I enjoy my choices of green for the few that I have.
Yeah, indeed.
So thank you everybody for joining us. Hi, Danielle. It's so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. We're going to be looking at, or talking about the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra, and we're going to be making a dessert. I like to, I'm not really that much of a dessert maker because I feel like, I try to control my blood sugar. But one of the reasons that I like to make my own desserts is because I can control the amount of sugar that goes in. And we can use a lot of whole foods like dates, that I have here to reduce sugar and also increase, the glycemic index so that we can process it better within our system. And also because there's a lot of sugar substitutes, and it's amazing how you can fake your body out in terms of thinking that it's eating something sweet when it's really not. So the other reason I wanted to do a dessert is because, as you can see from the screen and because of what I'm wearing, the heart chakra is associated with green, right? We think of, and it's I think that when we think of the heart, we think of rose, we think of pink, we think of red.
I'm wearing pink.
Yes, I see it. And yeah, and it's, it's the symbol of love. And, that's where we come from, this place of the heart. But it's important to remember that this chakra, the Anahata chakra, is not just the heart. It's actually this entire region of the chest. So we're talking about our airways, our lungs, our hands, our arms. And I have this picture, which is the trees and our lungs. And, this is where I think the color green is represented, at least in my mind. This is where the color green comes from, because our lungs are representative of the way the trees are functioning. And there is, the alveoli, which are, looking in the, when you look at your lungs, you've got all these little air sacs, and it's like our lungs are these branches with these little alveoli, these little air sacs, and the trees have the branches with their green leaves, and it's the green leaves through which they breathe. And we can pull up that picture, and you can, well, this is what we're going to make, which is wonderful, and we'll get to that in a second. But this is where I think the color green is being represented, is because it's the leaves of the trees. And so when we think about it that way, we can understand where the green comes from. So I think that the rose and the pink and, all of these colors are also appropriate, but it's not a problem. And we'll get the picture up. Don't worry. It can show up whenever it wants to. But we're going to, oh, there it is. So you can see, like, nature always mimics our body, or our body always mimics nature, right? Anything that we want to understand within our body, we can look at the outside world. And I think that this is where we're coming to in this time period right now. We're finally in our global awakening. We're finally in understanding that we have been isolating ourselves from nature, pulling back, really, truly not being connected. And by not being connected, we're not recognizing the patterns that exist. And they're there. Everything that we need to know, we can learn from observing nature. And so, we breathe in oxygen that's produced by the plants breathe in the CO2 that we're expelling. And here we've got an exact mirror representation
Wow.
of tree branches and our lungs. And so the Anahata chakra, when we think about it, this entire chest region, it's ruled by air, because this is what we're doing. We're breathing. This is the source of life. This is our interconnection with nature. This is how we are relating with nature, is through our breath. So, when you think of the green, think about breathing, sitting tall and opening up our chest. So that is my theory on the green. I hope you appreciate it.
So, when I was thinking, no, it's so beautiful. Thank you for that beautiful, download of information. And I really felt that.
Yeah. And I think that it's really, it's wonderful when we think about the different ways that we want to look at our chakras. If you catch Jenny Biondo and Delia Yvette's their chakra talks that are the every other Wednesday, they're talking about, a lot of the color therapy and the essential oils. Sometimes they're direct relations. Like sometimes we can understand the direct relation from one to the other. And then there are times when we look at something like the heart and we think love, we think pink, and then we see a color like green, then we maybe don't understand. And it's important to understand that, when you're looking at the chakras, not to identify with one aspect of it, but to really try to understand the vastness of it, because it's more than a color. It's more than, just the energy center of the one place that it's located. It's a vortex that's there that encompasses an entire region. So when I was thinking about what to create for this, obviously with the color green, the foods that you can imagine, green vegetables, green fruits like a kiwi, things like edamame, all the way down to the leafy greens. All of these things are good for our heart. Leafy greens are especially good for our heart. And they're really good raw. But, we have our normal salad greens that we eat. And then often we'll cook these hearty leafy vegetables like kale, Now, I don't know if you are as sick of it as I am, but, kale is everything. And, I was like, I don't want to do something with kale, enough of kale. We've had enough of kale. But then I got the download to do something with kale. So here we are. And, actually kale works so well in a dessert, because the foods that I usually cook kale with or think about kale with end up being pretty sweet. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried this, but if you take coconut milk or coconut cream and you just allow kale to marinate in that and you grill it, it's beautiful. Coconut and kale go so well together. So I thought, why not a dessert? Why not try it this way? The other thing that came to my mind was spirulina. Now, spirulina is a blue algae. It comes in a powder. This is actually a really important algae. They're looking at this for, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's like food scarcity. And, the reason is because this is so nutrient dense. It actually is a complete protein. It's got so many B vitamins. Its iron is out of control. I mean, everything that you would want in a food is actually in spirulina. It's in blue algae. They use this on space missions to give the astronauts enough protein and enough nutrients. And, I actually have been thinking about keeping spirulina for, earthquake kits, because, this is a wonderful food to have around. The thing is, it doesn't taste so good.
Yeah.
It's pretty, it's
gotta mix it with stuff.
Yeah. It's, you mix it in a smoothie, you mix it in, all the other foods that are going to hide it. And so I thought, why not mix it into a dessert? And I found that, mixing it with almond butter is a really great way to incorporate that spirulina. And then the last thing that I was thinking about was the concept of mint, because again, we're thinking about air, this chest, the heart chakra is ruled by the element air. We've been through the fire, we've been through the water, we've been through the earth with our lower chakras. Now we're into this air. And this is, again, that concept of breath. This is the concept of space. And what helps us breathe but mint? So we're going to use a mint oil in the chocolate. Now, again, thinking about like all the different ways that we open up our heart, it's, you know, spirulina, kale, mint, all really good for our heart. Actually, they have the B vitamins, the folate, everything that we need. They've been shown in research to be really important for heart health, actually reducing cardiovascular disease, opening up blood vessels, everything that you need. So please eat your greens. Do not forget your greens. Have your diet full of as many greens as you can have. But, you know, one of the other important heart openers is one of our favorite foods, cacao, right? Think about how we use and show love. We give people chocolate. The Mayans used cacao ceremonies to really connect with one another. And this is what we have kind of re-entered to in this period of time where now we begin to see cacao ceremonies. They're all for heart opening. They're all for love. So mixing mint and chocolate and kale and spirulina and all these things, like this is going to be our heart healthy dessert. So yeah. Thank you everybody for joining. I see more people have joined and I'm really excited to have you with us. I want to start by pulling, well, I pulled the card already, but this is from the Kuan Yin Oracle. This is Alana Fairchild's deck. She has many amazing decks. Again, you know, the reason I wanted to pull from this specific oracle is Mother Mary and Kuan Yin actually have been coming to me. I think that lately I've been thinking about the goddess in time in especially in the lower chakras is like, you know, cutting through all of the cords that I need cut. You know, really Kali has been with me for my entire life, like just working through my ego, slashing it left and right. Durga has been there, Isis has been there, and they're all really powerful deities. And when I was, you know, really focused on the heart and also focused on my daughter. Today's my daughter's 7th birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday, Anaya!
And you know, she's the one who opened up my heart. She's the one who really, for the first time, showed me what it meant to unconditionally love someone and to be unconditionally loved back.
Wow.
And you know, when I was thinking about her and you know, thinking about this goddess energy, I was remembering it is just as fierce as it is gentle. It is straightforward as it is compassionate and loving. And this is Kuan Yin. So the card that I pulled is Shining Lotus. And it couldn't be more appropriate because the heart chakra is actually represented by the lotus. And it's actually represented by 2 inverted triangles that form this like geometric pattern. And it's supposed to be the Shiva and Shakti union. It's also the essence of Prakriti, and that is the essence of life. That is Mother Nature. That is everything that she provides, and that resides in our heart. So pulling Shining Lotus seemed appropriate. Okay, Shining Lotus. There are times when it makes sense to be discreet until you find your inner strength so that you feel empowered enough to share your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs without wavering, even in the face of challenge by another. At other times, we benefit ourselves and others by taking a risk and allowing the inner lotus blossom of our true self to shine forth for all to behold. Have you been hiding in the spiritual closet, beloved? Sometimes it makes sense to avoid sharing your thoughts and feelings about spiritual beliefs and other personal matters until they are clear in your own mind. However, there are also times when hiding your deepest truths away from the world will no longer protect you, but actually hold you back from living your divine destiny, shining the lotus light of your own soul and walking the path in the world. This does not mean you have to make a grand announcement unless that is what is in your heart, but it does suggest that there is something within you that you could share with another or be more open in your life more generally. It might be a talk with a loved one about some significant feelings that you have kept to yourself, or you're beginning to be more open about your beliefs and your abilities. Once you put your energy into the world, you magnetically attract like-minded souls into your life, which will then encourage you to share yourself even more. Don't worry if there are those that seem to be challenged or threatened by your beliefs. They don't have to have the same beliefs as you for you or them to be safe and loved and on the spiritual path, which is unique for all of us. You and others can benefit greatly from staying true to your heart and at the same time being open to the fact that they will have their own truths that may differ to yours. And that is just the way it is. You don't have to convince others or be convinced of anything yourself. All you need to do is listen to your own heart. If there is something that you have been holding within, you are guided to listen to your heart for the right time and the best way to share it. Let the lotus light of your own heart, of your own soul, of your own inner truths shine openly, beloved. Be gentle with yourself and know that you have the right to be here on this planet in your own truth, and that no matter what the response, whether a response of affirmation and love or a response of discomfort, your truth serves the greatest good. Trust in the strength of this lotus light shining. It is more powerful than fear or doubt. It will light your way more deeply on your spiritual path of peace, purpose, and power. I mean, that is exactly what the Anahata chakra is about.
Beautiful. Thank you. Can I tell you something?
Absolutely.
Okay, so while we're in the theme of green,
Ooh.
So this is called Uvarovite, and it is a form of garnet. It's green garnet, and it grows naturally like that. So I thought I'd bless you all with that beautiful magic right there.
Green garnet. I've never seen that before. It's gorgeous.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.